You know, I want to say, before I get into the meat of this masterpiece, that for those of you who have seen my part one on how Arab and Lebanese corner store owners sexually exploit black women, for those of you who've seen part one, I just produced part two. And you all know how this is done. You shoot me an email and I'll send that link, that masterpiece, that private masterpiece. I'll send that right out to you. In this particular video, I wanted to touch upon something that I've been hearing, and it's nothing new. It's been discussed, and I'm really sure many of you have heard it. I've gotten people who sent me tweets about it. And right after the Trayvon Marton, and actually it might have even been before the George Zimmerman verdict, but you've all heard of Oprah making the comparison and comparing the Trayvon Marton incident with Emmet Till. And you find a lot of these Afro-American Negroes who want to believe this foolishness, embracing this misguided notion that this Trayvon Marton incident is the new Emmet Till. That's what she said. And as I looked at that particular comment and really began to rehash the whole incident with Emmet Till, it suddenly dawned on me. You know, Oprah, and I don't even think she knows this, she actually is right. But not for the reasons that she thinks she is. And the reason why I'm going to say she's right is what I'm going to discuss in this video. Now, again, like I said, by default, the woman's right. But she don't know that. And others, all these other Negroes, your Al Charlatans and all them Negroes who also equated this Trayvon Marton case with the Emmet Till case, they're right. But they're right for all the wrong reasons. That seems like oxymoron, but it's really not. And I'm going to explain to you and then you'll understand why I'm saying what I'm saying. And we all were familiar with the Emmet Till case. Emmet Till lived in Chicago, and his mother sent him to Money, Mississippi in 1955 to spend, I believe it was the summer, with his uncle. A week after he arrived in Mississippi, they found his body in the Chesapeake, I believe it was Chillicothe, or I can't recall the river, but it's a popular river. You already know. They found his body in the river. Can't recall the name of it. And it was a big to-do about the fact that he was beaten beyond recognition, you know, his eyes gouged out, a bullet in the back of his head. And we're familiar with the story. Body shipped back to Chicago. The mother wanted to have an open coffin because she wanted to show what Southern racists had done to her son. And now you have these Negroes, these modern-day Negroes who are equating what happened to Trayvon Marton with what happened to Emmet Till. And the analogy that they're using centers again on the racial piece. Because they're saying, well, those racists in Mississippi beat this child beyond recognition, drowned him, put a bullet in his head, drowned him, the whole 9 yards, because they're racist. They hate black people. This is their narrative. This is what happened to Emmet Till. Now, the reason why they're going to equate this case with Trayvon Marton with Emmet Till is because they're saying that, well, you know, the jury that let him off is racist. The cops that didn't want to arrest George Zimmerman in the first place was racist. We know certainly that George Zimmerman is a racist. So therefore, yeah, we can equate this case to what happened to Emmet Till. And this is what these Negroes do, because again, as long as it pushes that racial piece and it paints them as a victim, oh, they'll hold for it. They're gun for it. We got to do this. This is racism. This is the ongoing legacy of white supremacy. This is just the way they treat us. And we got to do something about this. We got to band together. This is racism. And again, like I said, Oprah and the rest of those minstrels who actually said that this case mirrored the Emmet Till case, they're right, but they don't know why they're right. And I'm going to tell them why they're right. Y'all are exactly right. These two cases have a correlation. But not the correlation that you Negroes think. Because I'm not going to give y'all the pass and allowing you Negroes to wallow in your self-pity. Because I'm telling you Negroes, it's time to pick yourself up, clean yourself up, dust yourself off, and do something with your lives and your culture and your community. I'm not going to give you Negroes a pass and say, well, it's okay for you to sit around and do nothing, be lazy, sit around because the structure of white supremacy is holding you back. I'm not going to give you Negroes that pass. I'm going to tell you Negroes to get off y'all's ass, roll up your sleeves, and do something for your goddamn self like every other culture that comes here, and stop expecting a damn handout. That's what I'm going to tell you. So I'm not going to let you Negroes have this, the luxury of saying the Trayvon Marton case, the reason why it mirrors the Emmet Till case is because of the structure of white supremacy. And white people, they just done it again. They just murdered one of our black sons. No, I'm not going to let you Negroes have that. The only correlation in the Emmet Till case and the Trayvon Marton case is that you have irresponsible parents, irresponsible adults who failed those children miserably. Now, I know you Negroes are not going to want to hear what I'm about to say. I already know this. I know you Negroes ain't going to want to hear this. And again, let me take my hat off. Let me take this. Take my hat off. I know you Negroes are going to sit back and going to come with this buffoonery. You talking about all black people. No, I'm not talking about all black people. I'm talking about a percentage. I'm talking about really the overriding majority. I'm not talking about all. But when you look at these two cases, you have a mother in Chicago, talking about Emmet Till now. 1955, the height of Jim Crow, the height of legalized segregation, the height of American racism. And you have a mother in Chicago who understands this. You got to know this is what's going on in the country. And you're going to send your son, you're going to drop your son into that hotbed, not just in any place in the South, but Mississippi. Of all places. This is where you sending your teenage son. Now, if anybody should have understood the nature and the time, it should have been that mother. Wait a minute, Emmett. I know you want to go see your uncle. I ain't sending you down there. Because I know you, Emmett. And I know you got a smart mouth. I know that even though I tell you, you know, you go down there fooling around, mouthing off down there, the white folks will kill you. Now, we're not justifying what these white guys did to him. No, no. So don't send me no stupid message telling me that I'm just, we ain't justifying shit. We talking about the failure now of these adults in both of these child's lives, and that's the correlation, and that's what I'm going to prove to y'all. Now, the mother had to know the culture of the time, but yet and still she sent her son to the hotbed, the racial hotbed in the South. And if she did tell him what he was getting into, he didn't listen, which is, you know, he's a teenager, kid. Okay, but the start still has to be placed on the mother, because why would you send your son down there knowing what's going on in Mississippi in 1955? That's strike one. Now strike two is on the other adult, his uncle. Once you got Emmet down there, why don't you sit him down there? Look, boy, you ain't up north now. You in Mississippi. It's a whole new ball game down here now. You can't come down here, you know, with that foolishness. You know, there's certain etiquette down here that if you don't abide by it, these white folks will kill you. Now, you know, again, we're not justifying it because we all know that it's wrong, but that's just the time that we lived in now. And if you're going to have two adults that's going to have a young boy, you would think that they would sit down and tell him this. Now, if they did and he didn't listen, okay. But again, why as a mother, why would you want your son down there in that hotbed? That's number one. And number two, all right? Now, allegedly, Emmet, he ain't even been down there a month. He's at the store with some of his friends. And he says to a black woman, he says to a white woman, bye baby, or hi baby, or something to that effect. He said something that was considered in the South, in Mississippi in 1955, a black boy talking to an adult white woman as disrespectful. You know what these white folks gonna do. And we already know the end of the story of what happened. Now, we're not justifying it, but yet still, that's the culture and that's the time. And you having an uncle who lives there, who's living under that oppression. You mean to try to tell me you didn't school this boy to the point that, listen, man, you're not going run around out here in Mississippi to the store where you can bump into a white person and have them think they're saying anything disrespectful to them. Because these white folks will kill you. First of all, I don't understand why the mother sent them down there in that hotbed in the first place. That's number one. That's strike one. I would not send my son in 1955 down to Money, Mississippi. For what? If his uncle wants to see him, you come up here. I'm not sending my boy down there. Not down there where they lynching you niggas for sneezing on the sidewalk. No, I'm not sending my son down there. My son ain't going nowhere near there. If he's down there, he's going to be down there with me. And even then, that ain't safe. But you send your boy down there by himself in the hotbed of racial tension at the height of white supremacy in Mississippi. And, you know, so now you want to sit back and have open coffee talking about, look at what they did to my son. Well, why'd you send him there in the first place? And it's the same with the Trayvon Marton. This is the correlation. I told y'all I wasn't going to let y'all have that pass now. This is the same with the Trayvon Marton case. How the hell do you have Tracy Martin, who lives there in Sanford, in that housing project or whatever it was, who knew that there have been break-ins, who knew that the suspects were young black teenage boys in hoodies? He knew this. You lived there. You had to hear it. You had to know it. So now you got your son down there now. And you didn't pull your son aside and tell him, listen, Trayvon, you know, you can't be roaming around out here. You don't nobody know you. You a new face. That garb that you like to wear, that's the same shit that they saying these people, these guys is breaking in these houses is wearing. I don't want you out here on these streets after dark. You keep your ass in the house. Yeah, that's just how that is. You're not going out here. First of all, you're not going out there even if you wasn't kicked out of school for the third time. Even if your mother hadn't thrown you out the house for the third time. Even if you was just there visiting me, you wouldn't be allowed out the house that late at night by yourself. But certainly when you consider all these you put these other things in the equation, 3 times kicked out. He just wasn't kicked out of school, wasn't suspended. The guy was expelled. They told him, don't you bring your black ass to this school. Get out. We done with you. You are expelled. Done. Finished. History. Go. And his mama for the 3rd time told him, look, I'm finished with you. Go live with your daddy. I'm done. And yet and still when he gets there, no adult told him, you can't be roaming around out here in these streets after dark with all these break-ins, and the guys that's doing these break-ins dress just like you dress. And that's just the way that is. Now, if you want to make a correlation with the Trayvon Marton case and the Emmet Till case, there it is. It ain't because of no ongoing legacy of racism. It ain't because of no ongoing structure of white supremacy. It's not because of slavery. No, it's because you got adults around both of these children who failed them. That's your correlation. I know you Negroes do not want to hear that because y'all don't want to believe that y'all have a hand in your own destruction. But I'm trying to tell you, as I've been telling you in all these videos, you do. You Negroes have positioned yourselves as your #1 problem. That's right. And I know y'all don't like to hear that. I know y'all. I read y'all's comments. And I know you Negroes don't like that. I know y'all have a problem with somebody telling you, listen, it ain't white supremacy. It's not racism. It's not the ongoing legacy of slavery. It's not police brutality. It's not exploitation. The fact of the matter is, Negro, is that you have positioned yourself as the #1 problem of black people is black people in 2013. And if you want to make a correlation between the Trayvon Marton case and the Emmet Till case, there you have it, people. His mother should have never sent him down there in the hotbed of racial tension in the first place. That's #1, not by himself. And once he got down there, his uncle should have been constantly on him, in his ear. You're not roaming around here out here nowhere by yourself. These white folks will kill you, man. That's just how that is. No, you can't go nowhere. And you most certainly can't go and have the luxury of thinking that you're going to say anything to a white person or a white woman. These guys will kill you down here. They will hang you from a tree down here. As Billie Holiday said about that strange fruit, yeah, that's you. You come down here with that shit, you will be a piece of that strange fruit hanging from those trees. And you want to make the correlation, people? That's your correlation. Now, again, I know, because I know y'all. I know you Negroes. I know you Negroes like the back of my hand. I know you Negroes. I studied you Negroes. And I know what y'all going to say. I know exactly what y'all going to say. Y'all going to say this is Uncle Ruckus, this is Uncle Tom, how can he say? But you're not going to be able to deal with the content. You're not going to be able to deal with the merit of the argument. Y'all going to say everything but the right thing because that's y'all. You give me 10 different scenarios. And 9 out of the 10 scenarios, I guarantee you I can predict on point what you Negroes will say, what you Negroes will think, and what you Negroes will do. And out of the 3, 1 ain't really that hard, thinking, because y'all not going to think. So that actually makes it really easy. All I got to do is just guess 2 things now. I can guess 9 out of 10 times what you Negroes going to say and what you Negroes going to do, because we're going to exclude think, because we know that ain't even in the equation. And again, before you Negroes get ready to sit down and talk about, you talking about all black people. Blah, blah, blah. No, Negro. I ain't saying all black people. I'm not saying all. What I'm saying is the overriding majority of black folks fall into this narrative. And Oprah Winfrey and the rest of those buffoons, they are right, but they are right for all the wrong reasons. It is what it is, folks.